Happy Earth Day, friends. This is Shary bringing you just a quick garden tour of my garden and my yard. You might hear Max in the background. You inevitably will. I've kicked him out of the garden because he wouldn't quit barking. But I just wanted to show you, this is some of my Swiss chard, rainbow Swiss chard that's overwintered and is still doing fantastic. I have some romaine lettuce. I have potatoes that I've put in, fingerling and red potatoes. I have some rainbow beets over here starting to sprout. This is all no-dig, my whole no-dig bed. Sunflowers along the edge. And then I have, step over my potatoes here. Oh yeah, sunflowers along the edge. I have some Armenian cucumbers that are going to eventually grow up the trellis. I have pole beans, more sunflowers. I have rattlesnake, purple pole beans planted right here on this arbor and on this side of the arbor, but they have not come up yet. Snow peas, sugar snap peas, and shell peas, which I did start several weeks ago. They came up and the birds got to them. So now I'm seeing a little sprouting coming up again, and I'm going to have to get them covered. What else do I have in here? Some white icicle radishes are popping up. These are boxwood, or euonymus, you might know them as that. Again, here is the gorgeous Swiss chard. Some more pole beans over here on my, having to step carefully here. More pole beans. As you can see, I'm really utilizing, Max, no, my vertical. I've got some bamboo stakes for pole beans. I've got an old arbor for beans, and my trellis for peas, sunflowers, beans. I do have right in here, but you can't see one little one right there. These radishes are coming up very slowly, and I'm wondering, because I planted these quite a while ago, and some carrots. Now I know the carrots can be a little slower, but I'm wondering if it wasn't just too cold, because those radishes have been in for weeks. There might be, yep, there's one right there. Okay, well, maybe they're just a little slow. And look, now I'm just seeing a little bit of carrot. Okay. And then I also just have some red leaf lettuce in here. Where did my tag go? This lettuce, oops, Max, no, you're kicked out for a reason. This is speckled lettuce. I also had some seeds that look like this that were called trout back lettuce or something, and then this is just a real pretty red lettuce, red leaf lettuce. So yeah, this is my no-dig, no-till. And oh, I have morning glories over here. I also have had a lot of, last year I had a lot of marigolds in here, so I'm hoping those are going to come up. Tomatillos will also go in here, tomatoes, peppers. So it's going to be, okay, now you need to stop. It's going to be quite full once it gets going, and that's why I wanted to show it to you now, because it's still pretty bare looking, but when this thing fills up, it is going to be full. This is a tray of, what have I got here? Oh yeah, these are some pumpkins, and this is my winter squash, Hubbard, spaghetti, and table queen. So those are starting to come up. These usually stay in the greenhouse. Take you over here to my greenhouse in the evening. So yeah, this is just my little, the only greenhouse I have right now. We're working on doing something else for a greenhouse, and I'll show you that in a minute. In here are just some chives, cilantro, parsley, dill, and some rainbow onions. Some of them have come up decent and some have not. So we'll just continue to monitor them. My tomatillos are off to a very slow start. I don't know what happened there. That's some bolognese basil, some English lavender, and a basil trio. And then these are a tray of starts that I am keeping for myself. Various tomatoes, beefsteak, Italian heirloom, cherry, large cherry, summer feast. Seemed like there was one other kind. Let's see. Large cherry. I had a variety of tomatoes, and I've got a couple eggplants there for myself. These are two Brussels sprout. No, that's a Brussels sprout. This is a pepper. So some baby Napa cabbage, some pak choy, some rosette tatsao. I started over. 2 mustards, sweet chili pepper. Only ended up with 2 of those. I've got 2 really nice kale, 2 purple moon kale, and these are green onions, these are leeks. I've already taken some green onions out for Molly because I've split a lot of what I have up between myself, my daughters, and then I gave away a bunch of tomato starts. This is a tomato that I bought at the store. Yeah, so I've had him in the ground for a little while, and he seems to be doing fine in this pot. I have nasturtiums planted around it, so that will be pretty. They'll spill over. These are squash. This is a zucchini, a dark green. I need to move this guy. And then again, more nasturtiums started around the edges. This is a tricolor zucchini. I've got one there, and they should do fine in this pot with the nasturtium again. I'm going to try to get a better video out for you when I've got some help here with him and my husband can take him elsewhere and he's not barking. Everything's sort of a mess right now too, you guys. I wanted to do a real nice video for you, but I'm just showing you real life. This is my myrtle, crepe myrtle, Max. So we call her Moaning Myrtle. Some oregano came back from last year, some more oregano, some spearmint over there. I'm not quite sure what these little guys are. I need to do my plant identifier on those. This is one reason why I haven't gotten a video out besides not feeling well, is I can't shoot anything without him barking his crazy head off. Rosemary comes back every year. This is a beautiful new rose bush I just got this year. Put again some nasturtiums around the outside. Let's see. Yep, those are some tomatoes that are going to my other daughter. And a cucumber. No, not a cucumber. Zucchini. Sorry, zucchini. Those are some peppers. We're going to move on and get away from him. These are just some peppers I purchased. Max. Jalapeno, Anaheim, Purple Beauty, and Sweet Banana. Those are 2 of my eggplant I'm going to plant. That is olive. That's my little olive tree. A lot of things back here are not the way they're going to be set up long term. This is my herb pot. I usually plant it from plants I buy, but I did a little experiment this year, and I'm doing it a lot of it from seed, except for the curly leaf parsley that came back on its own. I have some nasturtiums in here and just some wildflower seeds in here. Moving over here, these are a few. That's a green zucchini, dark green. These are 2 green okra. These are red okra. That is a dark green zucchini, yellow squash, maybe yellow patty pan, some crookneck, and some round zucchini. I need to up pot those for myself and my girls. My garden, which my birds just love. The wind is blowing today, as I said, if I wait till the perfect day to do this, I'll never get it done. So over here I have, this is kind of my shady-ish, semi-shady, semi-sun garden bed. I've got honeysuckle there that I put in a few years ago. It's looking really good this year. Again, more at the end. It's not started to bloom yet, but it will. And then this is my Hosta Garden. So this is one of my original hostas. It's funny when they start coming up. Oh boy, they go crazy. I'm gonna have to come in and cut this leaf off. I don't know what got to that already. And another one of my original hostas. So these are going to get quite large because they've been here for years. This one is brand new. I just put it in. Just bought it last weekend at the nursery. That one and this one is new. And this one is new. So I had to fill in some empty spots. These fill in, my hostas fill in huge gaps in here. And then oftentimes I'll come in and plant maybe some shady flowers. I just did repurchase this clematis, Jackman clematis, this purple one. I'm hoping it does well. They're like their feet in the shade and their faces in the sun, which his face should be in the sun. And I'm hoping with my hosta at the bottom, the feet will adequately be in the shade. So that is my Hosta Garden. This is my backyard. I spend a lot of time out here. Again, that's one of the new ones. This is one, my husband is always putting things on the ground. And I always tell him, watch out because I have hosta in here. Well, I thought something was missing over here. And then we were putting in some of these new hosta and we came across these. So see, I think he had something on these. So this is another one of my hosta. So that'll come up. It's just a little slower because it was stunted. And then this one's been here a while. I think he's not as big because he doesn't get as much sun. Moving over here is what started out last year as my bee and butterfly garden. So I have these little, just bottoms of old pots that I put rocks and water in. And the bees love them, the butterflies love them when they're here. There's not too many butterflies yet, or bees, but the birds have been going crazy. So this is just a really neat pollinator garden. All of my beds are mulched with compost. So everything you've seen so far is just straight compost, no dig. And that's how I do my garden beds. So back here we have a butterfly bush. We have a salvia that Maxie is stepping on. I believe that's a salvia. Another salvia right here. Some coreopsis here in the front. Heuchera and a heuchera here. Isn't that one pretty? It's already bloomed. I think he gets the most sun. And then that here, which is going to go along this wall here. Okay, yeah, back. I had to check my plant identifier because I don't have my tag here with me. Yeah, so this is foxglove, so I put that to go all along because it'll get tall. And then I just bought these delphinium that I'm going to work in between each foxglove. And then I still would like to add some snapdragon. This area right here was the old arbor you saw in my garden bed. That we moved the arbor. This used to be 2 grapevines, but they just weren't so great anymore. So we're going to take this, extend this over, and make another bed here, which I'm going to use my ladder. Probably going to attempt to maybe grow my cantaloupe melon up it. And then maybe put some squash here. And I'll do squash in my garden as well. This will get a little bit different type of sun, but we're going to wait and just see how it does. This will be kind of an experimental area. And then let me back up, if I can here. Bear with me. Thank you, Maxie, for not barking for 10 minutes. This is an old garden shed. The home we're in used to be neither really here nor there, but it was my mom and dad's house. So this was a garden shed Dad built. Well, we want to take this. It's a wooden structure. It's perfectly sound and fine on the inside. All wooden trusses and everything is fine inside. But we want to take the tin off, the sides, the top, and the other side. And we want to turn it into a greenhouse. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that, because let me show you. I think we have our supports inside are fine for it. I'd rather have more of a greenhouse door, but it is going to be a work in progress. So as you can see, it's all structured. So there shouldn't be any reason we can't come in and get this metal tin or whatever that is off and use our existing support. So if you guys have any ideas, look out, Maxie, for us, let me know, because we've never built a greenhouse, and it's sort of like, sorry for the, give you some greenery to look at. It's kind of like, why not use it? Yeah, I want a greenhouse. I need a bigger greenhouse. It's a good spot. It gets morning sun all morning here. It'll get midday sun straight above, and the sun sets over there, so it'll get pretty much full sun. You know, this structure will have to stay, but I think if we can get enough of the greenhouse stuff up there, maybe a greenhouse door, we're going to be okay. This is my one and only lilac bloom this year. Look at that color. Isn't that pretty? That is gorgeous. And that's a Virginia creeper. I put that there mainly just as a little privacy break. And then one last stop here in the backyard is my composting station, which I need to get out here and turn these and feed these. This was my original one. This is Oscar. You guys might remember him from last year if you've been with me a while. And he is actually, let me take a look, looking pretty darn good. Compost is coming along. It's nice. Look at that. And that's just garden. I mean, that's broken down garden waste, broken down kitchen waste. I mean, it's not ready yet, but it's coming along. It's looking really good. And then I got this guy off of for sale trade last year, I think for $25. And for $50, I got these two. It's a dual tumbler, and they're huge and they're heavy. So, and I didn't get to them yesterday because I had some medical stuff to go do. So anyway, I wanted to show you my composting station, and now we'll take just a quick buzz out front. I'll show you what's going on out there, and wrap this very quick impromptu garden tour up. Well, Earth Day would not be complete if I didn't introduce you to my beloved Japanese maple. It is looking so pretty this year, and it's draped over on top of by my white birch tree. This particular Japanese maple, I believe I've had now in this location. I did have one or two other Japanese maples, and there was a couple locations they were not happy. But this guy has been here now for, I'm going to say, going on 10 years, 9 to 10 years. And it is so healthy and so happy. So wanted to show you that. We've got our ground cover, which is St. John's wort, which does sort of encroach over here. I need to thin that out a little bit because I don't like it to choke out I have more hosta here. So I need to clean that up. A little bit of hosta here. But this guy, it's such deep shade over here. I don't know. Not quite sure what to do over here this year. And I usually underplant my Japanese maple with either pansies early on or begonias, impatiens, things like that. coleus, things, and that's what I fill. This is my front porch, so if you're coming into my yard from the front, this is my yard, my fountain that's not on yet because it's concrete and it's still getting a little too cool. And I'll have a lot of shade flowers on my porch in the summer. I'll have shade flowers on my bicycle because this is all pretty shady. Again, St. John's wort at the base of my white birch tree. I dug out some old roses this year and I replanted this with some cosmos, cupcake cosmos. Oops, what's this guy called? This is a Lisianthus. That's what that is. These are Veronica, so they're gonna look a lot like a salvia, but they're not a salvia, they're a Veronica. So those will get probably the tallest, but as you can see, I also have tons of wildflower seeds. So I scattered this whole thing with a mixture of sun-loving wildflowers. So this area, backing up, coming up my walkway, and I need to put new bark on here. It's just time to freshen everything up, but this all is going to be sort of just wildflowers and flowers this year. Some remaining pansies that I put in the fall. Some of them died over the winter, but they're still looking real pretty. They're not too leggy at this point. It hasn't gotten hot enough. Here's a couple of volunteers. Aren't those pretty? So yeah, this area here is just all pots. So I've got, this is some garlic that I put in last year and it overwintered. And I've just let it keep going. Again, more wildflowers, and these are all wildflowers, as are these guys. So this is just really, as I said, kind of my walkway, wildflower kind of garden area. I think that's going to be really pretty when it fills in. We'll get some new bark, give that some more life. All right, guys, now we've come to the front flower bed. This is kind of my perennial bed, if you will. I like to think of my whole yard as kind of a potager yard because I've got vegetables, flowers, perennials and vegetables and stuff, together everywhere. So this is my, Yeah, I can't think of it. Hold on. The brain is not working today. Forsythia. Yes, that is my Forsythia. And she's not so much yellow anymore. Now she's going into her green phase. Again, we mulched all of this with a couple of, inches of good compost. That's all I use on my beds. This is a purple salvia. That is just really pretty early on, so yeah, I'm excited about that. This is Yarrow, again a perennial. Some lavender. This little guy back here is so that's a coreopsis. I can't remember the name of this offhand. My plant identifier says it's an oregano, but I know that's not correct, so I have to look. I've got the information somewhere. But, so those are just perennials that come back. These are my artichokes. Artie the artichoke in the front, he's doing really good. He's really big. That one's a little bit smaller. Another coreopsis, some more yarrow. This is white Russian sage. So that's really pretty when it blooms. It takes over this whole area, gets filled in. This is a chrysanthemum that I've had in here for years, and so is this, I believe. So they come back every year. This is a guara, and it looks like it's come back here and it's come up here. But this little guy here is a sedum autumn joy, and I want to move him because he's getting too crowded now. I love having this guara here because it's beautiful, but it's getting crowded by this. So I'm going to move the Sedum Autumn Joy, and I'll show you when I do that. This is catmint, so that's a perennial, comes back. More coreopsis, and then some more lavender. I usually have lots of lavender, just a little empty water bird bath right there for now. And then this is funny. It's an old truck bed that my husband's grandparents, when they moved from New Mexico to California, they pulled this with their car and all their belongings were in this, if you can believe it. Isn't that funny? So I am turning this into a strawberry bed this year. And as usual, my mother always has to come and visit me, which I'm so excited. She always had a whole bunch of Johnny jump ups out here. So I always end up with Johnny jump ups. And this guy, oh look at, there's a little tiny, tiny strawberry. If it'll focus for me. But yeah, so I've got some strawberry plants in here. And then last but not least, our newest addition, we took out a peach tree that was right there. And I got this new arbor. So my plan is, I've got two purple, because that's our bedroom window, so it doesn't really give us any, you know, shade or like privacy screen or anything there right now. I ordered two purple climbing roses from one of my favorite nurseries. So we're still working on this. We're still clearing out grass and weeds, and we had evergreen in here. These are some daylilies that have been here for years. Those will stay. But we're still working this dirt. We've had to dig a little bit just to get the weeds out. But again, this will totally be a no-till, no-dig bed. But I'm going to put the two climbing roses and I'm going to plant. So I'm really not sure what all's going to go in here. That you can follow me this summer as we go along this season, and we'll see what develops. I know there'll be some lavender. It's gonna mostly be, you know, pollinators. I want this to be sort of a little reflective, pretty little garden. Maybe I'll get another little bird bath to put there. And then this is the back side of my garden where I showed you. You can see, maybe there's my arbor. Whoops, sorry. So yeah, this just backs up to my garden. So if I've got stuff growing up this fence, I don't mind, because I'm going to have stuff growing up on the other side. And then so this is just all sort of droops down, slopes down, and goes down into the end of the bed. It used to be at one time a lot of wildflowers. So I believe there is still some wildflowers in there, but we're going to wait and see. So be on the lookout to see what we're going to do with this. I think it's going to turn out really pretty. I'm happy with the way my perennial bed is coming along. I'll show you anything I do to it to add, but it generally fills out and gets very full on its own. So you guys, I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my piece of earth here on Earth Day. It's not the biggest, it's not the most fanciest, and it's definitely not perfect today because the wind blew all day yesterday, and there's sticks and leaves and all kinds of messy stuff all around. But that's what it is, and it's all good because we're taking care of our earth. We're feeding it, and it's feeding us. So you guys, my Japanese maple and I say Happy Earth Day. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.